Okay, so Mudita, what is the base premise for the Batman? Because like, there's a lot of ideas behind it, and I debate on it being whether it should have been DC or whatever. But like, what is the premise of the film? Because I honestly don't remember. There's a lot of details and spoilers, but like, I honestly don't remember the details of the spoilers that much. Outside of like, oh, this guy's in it or whatever.
Okay, it's something like that. This is my like, when you're on HBO Max's app and like this is the blurb.
Yeah.
Cape Crusader, Batman, and World's Greatest Detective is in a dark version of Gotham, trying to find out who's behind a series of murders being committed by the Riddler and his motivations behind it. That's like the general premise behind it. And then as he does this, he uncovers more of the mysteries of Gotham City.
It sort of reminds me of there's probably some like homage to like Tim Burton and like German expressionism and like M and stuff, like 1930s German films and murder mysteries and stuff that take down the whole of society.
Yeah, it definitely does have like German expressionist kind of like camera angles.
Or like the Catholic art churches and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like that even goes back to like other Batman movies. Like like you're saying, Batman Forever, it also has like kind of like 89, kind of architecture and like Gotham and stuff like that. Yeah, that's definitely there. But yeah, it also combines all that aesthetic stuff and like also like these old cathedrals and stuff like that, but also like draws a connection between like this past history of like the city of Gotham through like Thomas Wayne and like Bruce Wayne's dad and like even the founders of the city, like the Arkham family, and like brings it up to like the current day with like not to give too many spoilers, but like just like how that ties to like the events of the current day and like what the Riddler is doing and stuff like that.
Still pretty vague, which is sort of better that way. Which I feel like people who didn't like the Christopher Nolan Batman, where everything's spelled out, would like better, and at least up more for sequels, like, or even prequels for like how Gotham got founded, like before the Waynes or whatever.
Right, because like when you think about it, with all these other like Batman movies, you just have this in the background, like Bruce Wayne is just part of this incredibly wealthy family, and like he just goes around gallivanting around.
Yeah.
But like in this movie, they actually address like this is a pretty serious problem to have, and we just heard Discord. But this is a pretty serious like plot point that like it just never gets addressed before. Like Bruce Wayne is a hella wealthy person. He's probably hella influential. He's probably involved in like the roots of like all the balances of power in this city. So like what does that mean exactly? And that's probably the most interesting part of this movie. And like how that interplays with like the Riddler and like his ideas and stuff. I think it's a really fascinating story.
I feel like they're covering it more and more recently, just because of that's what we have to do as in art, and there's some stuff you haven't watched yet or played yet.
Right.
But like, yeah, we're getting to that point now.
Right. Like I feel like there are a lot more smarter documentaries coming out now about things and stuff like that, or biopics and stuff like that.
The 1%, the whatever,
or like I don't know, Succession or whatever.
Succession,
things like that. Like Bruce.
They could do Succession with the Wayne family, right? Yeah.
I feel like Kieran Culkin is like,
I'm Robin. I'm Robin 4.
Kieran Culkin is like,
I work at a carnival.
Is David Wayne, and he's like, come on, David Wayne, and he's like, come on, Bruce, come on, let me get some of the family money. Like, let me get
I'm like water. I flow with everyone else. Oh, they have the guy from Ferris Bueller. Who's in that comedy with Michael J. Fox also.
Wait, which thing?
Cameron,
the guy who played Cameron?
Yeah. Forgot his name.
Forgot his name. What was he in?
He was in Succession.
He was in Succession also?
Yeah, we made a big deal.
Is everyone from the 80s and 90s in Succession or something?
I don't remember, let's see.
Wow, Cameron is in a Succession. Alright, wow. Yeah, I feel like, a lot of things are going that way, and like, this movie is going that way too, along with all these other things. It's like, what is it? Like, and also it's going modernizing in terms of talking about like, with all of those things like corruption, things like social media. Social media is a big part of this movie.
It was
kind of like a
it's
weird
sort of-
part of this movie.
like there's social media, like whatever with the Dark Knight also, but like they're going like Ready Player One with it in this movie.
Yeah, not quite like virtual worlds, but like
there's a certain aspect of it.
There's like some stuff with like Twitter, almost like things like that.
There's a more specific thing.
You mean like the
we don't have. You don't want to spoil it.
I don't think it's a huge. I don't know. I mean, let's just say, like a lot of the culture around like stuff like
Twitter
violence and
violence
happening online.
Yeah, like
online media is like also happening in this movie.
Yeah,
too.
like Nightcrawler came out, the movie about filming like murders and stuff with Jake Gyllenhaal and.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, when you're a journalist and like creating your own news and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that movie. That sounds like a disturbing movie. I'm not gonna watch it.
There you go. Yeah. It's not very gory. It's just dark. Yeah.
Still not gonna watch.
Okay,
it
there you go. Right. Yeah.
Not night.
That's how a lot of people reacted when they saw the movie. Like,
I think
it's an interesting movie, but like, I'm not watching it again.
I'm at a point where like I can watch Batman,
right?
but like
I'm surprised you watched Batman.
I don't think
it was pretty grim in this movie.
It was pretty grim. I don't think I can go much farther than Batman though.
Yeah.
Part of me is like it's still Batman,
Yeah.
and like Batman's gonna save the day and stuff.
Yeah.
So I have that. But like some other movies are like, I don't think Batman's gonna save the day.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about this movie is like Batman, like even though there's all this wild stuff happening, all this intrigue, all this like, you know, things like being upset and stuff and revelations and stuff like that.
Revelations, interesting.
That like still Batman still finds a way to try and do the right thing and be a good hero and stuff like that. I think there's room for that. But you know, I know other people don't necessarily feel that way. They might feel more like, you know, Commissioner Gordon or something like that, and they have to do those things. But I don't know. Yeah.
Did we talk about the walls yet, or are we waiting for that later?
The seawalls or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a super big spoiler. It's not a super big part of the movie, but like, yeah, I guess that's just part of the city of Gotham in this movie. And
like I thought everyone was going to get wiped out.
Yeah, like they don't make this a big deal until it comes up.
This is very modern. Yeah.
They don't make this a big deal until it comes up, but this is a Gotham where that like there's just a seawall around it because it's surrounded by water.
Yeah.
And like if that seawall goes down, then the city gets flooded and stuff.
Yeah.
So like this is like the city was not normally like this, so it's already the water levels have already risen in this world. So it's not even like they make it a big plot point or anything that they like elaborate on for a while. It's just like, this is just part of the timeline this is in, part of the universe.
And that's why I'm like
it's like an afterthought.
Some of that's in the movie Reminiscence that also came out this year. Right,
it's just part of the movie. It's like just a matter of fact. Like I feel like a lot more movies are just kind of like doing stuff like that now. I saw like a clip from Reminiscence in like a Climate Change 101. We're talking about movies are depicting these things, and like here's Reminiscence and stuff, and like, oh boy, and this is, you know, our future if we don't do something about it and stuff. So, yep, that's all stuff.
Very contemporary film. Yeah.
Very contemporary film. Social media, climate change, the whole system being corrupt and stuff like that. John Turturro.
Oh, stuff being corrupt.
I was just about to talk about John Turturro.
Oh, okay.
It's not a big deal.
John, it's really weird how they introduce him. Like, he walks up to him, he talks to him. I'm like, who is this guy?
I didn't even realize how important he was. I was like, who is this?
Oh, he's a big deal.
He's actually he doesn't. I feel like I've seen him in other movies.
I don't.
So like I didn't.
We're like 2 hours into this film. It's like, he's the main character.
I feel like I don't like. He's not presented as like a super important figure, but he's like an important figure in this movie.
Yeah.
Like if not one of the most central figures.
He also might sort of look like the Long Halloween kind of like version of that character.
Okay.
Just because of his natural looks.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
And like speaking of like John Turturro and like New York and stuff like that, like I feel like the accents are so on point in this movie. Like random, like side characters, like hey, you got 2 minutes with him, bats or whatever. Like, just like random people with like random New York accents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hey, he's getting away. And I got a guy who was like my uncle's plumber, you know.
Oh yeah, a carpenter or whatever, right? Yeah.
Uncle's a carpenter.
Well,
What, you don't know that, Batman? There's like random accents going on like that, like working class people. Meanwhile, Batman doesn't know what
it's like a
talking.
union accent or something. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a Teamster accent.
Yeah. They definitely
It's part of the 101.
Speaking of they might not have a lot of Asian people in this movie, but the diversity of New York accents in this movie, like they portray a whole rainbow of like accents that can come from New York in this movie.
Yeah.
Hey, Hernandez, you got anything on this guy? I got nothing.
I feel like Simu Liu could have done like a really good like New York version of an Asian accent. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just picturing Aquafina and Nora from Queens in this.
She's already. She has a New York accent.
And
We hired her for the role just because she has a New York accent.
Yeah, and then like this also takes place like in New York, basically New York.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if that cathedral is like St. John's the Divine Cathedral.
I don't know which one it was or what it was trying to represent.
But
and I thought the mayor's house in the beginning, that sort of looked like a cathedral too, just because they were playing Ave Maria or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean they very prominently figure like a Madison Square Garden-esque place in this movie.
The Gotham Square Garden.
They call it Gotham Square Garden.
It's not very subtle.
It's not subtle at all, and like it's like
there's some reason behind that actually.
It's almost product placement at that point. It's like basically product placement.
Yeah. Like if you're in the situation, you gotta go there. It's the place to be.
Yeah.
The staff is well trained in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe So, but I was like, yeah, look at that. There it is. Like even
it's also interesting because they don't show like what's inside. They don't say if there's a musician or a sports team or anything. It's just a building that has to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, or like what train lines next to it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about the story at this point. I don't know. It is like about all these different things, and it does it really well.
Yeah.
And it kind of takes you through all these different points and like different places, and like sees the criminal underbelly of the world, and involves all this technology and stuff.
Yeah.
And
we didn't talk. We didn't write in the notes about Batman's technology.
Oh yeah.
We talked about him being certain aspects about Batman, but not all the equipment he has.
He's like Superman. He's
That's the first thing I want to say, but I didn't talk about his equipment yet.
He's literally
He's shot in the face. He's like whatever.
It's like oh. And
he just keeps punching people.
Yeah, it's like I don't think any other Batman could just straight up get like
shot in the face with
like a huge elephant gun. Like it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. Like
I think the elephant gun slowed him down, but like if it was like a pistol or SMG or like a regular, if it's a regular shotgun, it'd be alright. But if it's an elephant gun, that's totally different.
There's like a whole scene.
That's been double barrel elephant gun.
There's a whole scene where like he's fighting 6 dudes with Uzis, and he's just like punching them one at a time, like, and it looks cool, but like it's like these bullets do nothing. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like
it works aesthetically though, and it's something new. It's something new, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of this.
It's not like it didn't make sense, yeah.
A lot of this
there might be some comic book guys like, this is ridiculous. Like Batman's a human being. This can't happen.
A lot of this movie, I feel like, works on a visual level.
Yeah.
Visual level, like the visuals tell the story.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, and like
I didn't feel like it was like Zack Snyder or anything. It felt like above that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me close the window.
Yeah. I was wondering about that. Yeah.
But yeah, and like, yeah, the story takes you off through all these different characters and different plot points, and like, there's all these action sequences, and like, there's a whole car chase scene, right? Where like they track down like I think they go back to the Penguin like 3 times or whatever, and then finally they go after him, and then there's this whole chase scene which is amazing. I think like that's in a whole amazing sequence.
Well, at first I thought it was like real stuff, and then like and also beginning is like they're driving through these cars in the first phase of it. They drive past all these cars on the opposite side of the highway, and I think how they did it was like it looks maybe because of the rain. Or maybe because how they shot it, like, as if it was, like, a Disney theme park thing. Like, they're driving past them, but they're not really moving. It just looks like they're going opposite directions.
Yeah. Yeah, there's, like, some kind of... I don't know what the effects they did to make it look convincing, but, like... Yeah, like, somehow they made it seem like they're driving towards oncoming traffic. But, yeah, it just looks really convincing in terms of this car chase, and it's just really amazing, all the stunts they did. And then, like, there's an epic explosion and stuff, and, like, it's a really cool sequence. I think it's worth the price of admission for, like... It's been a while since I've seen, like, a amazing car chase thing and, like, a... Like, I feel like...
They don't really have, like, Planet of the Apes, yeah.
Yeah, and if they don't do that in, like, MCU as much, really.
Yeah, they don't really use cars in MCU, right?
Actually, I take that back. Sometimes they do it with, like... I feel like
a jet or something.
This is how I would describe it.
Or like what, Iron Man or something.
They did a car chase in Black Panther when they're going through Korea.
Oh right, I forgot about that one. Yeah,
that's a good one.
It's all zoomed in, though.
Zoomed in.
Yeah, it's like someone's on top of the car and like hitting it. It's not like car versus car. Right?
Yeah, and this one, in the MCU, there's always like a lot of special effects, and there's like laser shows and rocket blasts and stuff like that.
And martial arts.
And stuff. Or like there's like the tram sequence in Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I felt the tram.
In San Francisco tram or whatever, the bus or whatever.
I'm just getting a whole bunch of theme park ideas now from that. So they should do like the Shang-Chi like live action like bus fight or
that
like
bus fight is amazing.
Yeah. Even though some of it was CG, but like some of this was CG too. They should do the Batman car chase scene.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess the difference with this one is that I felt like the aesthetics of this scene were very particular because like it was at night and it was raining and there's all these lights going on.
Yeah, you felt the rain thing was very interesting.
I thought that really added another layer to most car chase scenes I feel like in Hollywood movies are like during bright California days and stuff like that.
Like The Rock with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, or when I picture a Fast and Furious movie, most of those car chase scenes are like in bright during the day. Always in LA.
Like Tokyo Drift would be like in Japan at night, but that's like the rare exception, yeah.
Right.
Or like there's like a big machine gun or something and like they're falling off a cliff.
Right. Yeah. But like in this, like they did it not only at night, not only with all the lights on, but also during like this rain effects and stuff like that.
I felt like there's only one aspect of when they would actually use like the theme park like slip and slide like traction thing, but for the most part I was wondering right now if the rain actually affected the tires at all during the
Right, I don't know how that worked. I don't know if they added that in post.
It might have been in post, right? Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like
yeah.
Like I guess like post production is just really amazing now. So, but like that's the thing. A lot of with this movie is like I don't know how much they added.
It helps like
versus practical effects.
Yeah, I hope that like by now like a lot of these effects are a lot cheaper now. Like we could probably do some of these effects at home somehow.
Yeah, that's true. I saw like a video where somebody like did the bike chase scene from the original Tron movie from like a home 3D modeling software thing or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, but I guess Tron, the original Tron doesn't.
It's all 3D. Oh, the original Tron. Okay.
The original Tron.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like one thing that reminds me is that like this car chase scene in Batman, it being bright lights, but at night all dark, high contrast. It reminded me of like bike chase scenes in like the Tron Legacy movie.
Yeah.
Because like there's like all the effects, all the like neon lights going on there.
Yeah, the Batmobile has a very interesting debut. I still don't remember what it looks like, but I do remember like it's just dark all of a sudden, and then like you just hear this loud noise from the engine.
Right.
Like it's like I don't know if it's like an airplane engine, but it's like really loud, and then like it scares off people that way.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's in the middle of the scene where like a million people are shooting at each other and stuff.
Right. I'd seen like criticisms of like Yeah, and like because of it, all this stuff, like I feel like it has a very unique aesthetic in this movie. There's rain and there's like all I'm saying stuff with the darkness and stuff.
Yeah.
Like because of that, I feel like it gives it a distinct look from like a lot of other blockbuster movies where like it's all during the day, or it's all in the out in the noon time, but like it's all like brown and stuff, and it's all like all the post production looks all washed out and stuff like that kind of. Whereas like this, it looks like sleek and like kind of more clean looking in other ways.
Oh, definitely.
So that's something I like about this movie. And
Also-
like it gives it a unique look too, and I kind of feel like it sets it up for like iconography that like leads into like sequels and stuff that make it more distinct.
It sort of reminds me of the Batman Forever mobile to some extent, somewhat like the Adam West one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like military grade, like the Batman Begins one, but it's not like, it doesn't look like that one.
Right.
Like the Tumblr.
Right. A lot of it's, when you, and that's, I feel like I was also thinking that, like, even though it is having like this kind of serious plot that's like similar to a Christopher Nolan film, like, as we're talking about all the visuals and aesthetics, I feel like it does have a kind of like iconography and like look to it that's like trying to go for like, not quite toys maybe, but like also something that could be like just very visually driven and like very like I don't know, like makes the eye pop and stuff.
Right.
Like, even like the title
Like,
card.
you don't want like 5-year-olds to have the Tumblr.
Right. Like it doesn't look fun.
It's like, well, sir, why do you have this thing that has like missiles on it and stuff?
Yeah. Whereas like Christopher Nolan sacrificed like aesthetics for realism, like it could be like as if it's a real ninja star.
Yeah.
Whereas like in this movie, he just has like a chest plate thing that he uses to.
Sometimes that's a little bit weird too, but
But like I don't know, it looks cool. Like sure, fine, but like it kind of fits in.
Yeah.
And
some of that actually we'll get into later with the ending. I don't know if we'll get into it now, but like some of the stuff he uses is very interesting. Some of that military stuff too, but it looks especially more Batman-ish.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how much more do we have to go before just starting to get into spoilers. I feel like we kind of covered a lot of things so far. Maybe it's already time to get into spoilers soon.
Yeah.
All right. So 1, 2, 3 spoiler time.
A little bit more about the Batmobile chase scene.
Okay.
I guess we're only in the spoilers if we're talking about the Batman chase scene, right?
I don't know. I mean, you can't really spoil that because like. What do you want? You want to give away the twist on that or something? Like,
it's not really a very twisty movie.
What's the point?
Part,
what's the point you want to give away on the twist of a car chase scene? like you just got to see it, you know? Like, this is awesome. Like, or unless there's like a turn that like.
It did have that ending was really good.
The ending of the car chase.
Like,
scene was really cool.
It's a huge wreck, like out of like.
So
Smoking the Bandit or Cannonball Run or something like a Jackie Chan film.
Yeah.
We're guessing it's CGI, otherwise it'd be a mess to clean up.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's very cool.
And then they have like the whole like Terminator like explosion.
Yeah.
And then like
that's why T2 was a great movie.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, it's probably inspired by T2.
Yeah.
And then like you're like, oh shit, there's this ramp all of a sudden. How'd that show up there? And then he just flies off the ramp and be like, and like the penguin's like, he's not gonna get me. He's not gonna get me. And it's like, oh shit, I'm this like New York accent. He's right after me. Get away from me, dude.
Yeah, that was great. That's good cinema. That's a good Hollywood. That's a good Hollywood moment.
Even though
yeah,
it's like your point about the whole chase scene.
Yeah, to get into spoilers now, if we're going into spoilers, that chase scene amounted to very little plot-wise.
Plot-wise,
because like afterwards they. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We don't have to get into too much, but like basically, it just doesn't amount to much. And then they have to go do something else for a while. So it feels like some points in this movie, like they just go down dead ends, and they're like, "Oh, I had to go to a website."
And the ending's very funny too. Like, wait, he was here the whole time.
Oh yeah, that's also true. Like
we're going around in circles.
Yeah. Yeah, there's also the guy who... I forgot what I want to say. There's the guy who drove into the cathedral and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah.
I forgot...
that felt very Dark Knight-ish also.
That was also
outside of, like, the social media
That
stuff.
felt like a Joker kind of plot thing there.
This whole movie feels very Joker-ish.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm like,
Yeah,
if they did a Joker thing, what's the point? The Riddler's basically the Joker
That's
already.
what I was thinking, right? Like, I was like, this is basically a Joker movie. Like, how is this...
It's basically the Dark Knight 2, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's basically Dark Knight 2,
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like, those, like, oh, if you do or if you don't, Batman, what
You gotta
are you gonna
find me.
decide?
We're meant to be together or whatever.
Yeah.
It's you and me, Batman.
It kind of, but I feel like it takes it to another level in this case because like Joker's kind of more anarchic or whatever, just more for chaos and stuff. Whereas like I feel like Riddler has an agenda and a purpose to himself, and like he's motivated to like do things, and like he wants Batman's involvement in order to help him with his plots and stuff.
He's not the main character, but like the whole movie revolves around his backstory for the most part.
Right, and he sets all the events of the movie into motion.
I'm sort of worried, like after this movie, they have nothing for him to do.
Yeah,
and, like at the end, I was like,
also.
At the end, it sort of felt like they were forcing some stuff. Like
I feel like it's like
it has to be a DC movie now. Like we have to keep the Riddler around.
I'm like, how do you like make a franchise out of something so dark and personal? Whereas, like, how does this guy do things after this? You know, like.
Well, I have some ideas after we get to the ending. Yeah.
But like, it felt like a pretty self-contained movie for the most part. Like,
I felt like but like it could have like set up other stuff too.
Yeah, I feel like they're trying to set up a lot of other stuff. But like, it feels like a weird tone to be like, oh, now we're just gonna have him in more fun sequels. We're gonna keep drawing him out, and like we're gonna keep bringing more blood from his stone.
About that. So about the ending, I start seeing what you mean. Like the city's wrecked. So like what's he predicting? There's nobody left in the city.
They try to say so like. Yeah, by the end of the movie, the city
maybe they'll be in Bloodhaven.
Destroyed, and they're saying all these things like, "Oh, we got to clean up the city." Also, there's gonna be chaos. There's gonna be crime. They're saying all this stuff. It's how do you? I don't know. Like, there's so much to do. Like a lot of it's like, I don't know. You can't even like tackle all that as just one guy, like punching stuff. You gotta like start like sending construction projects or something like. You know,
it's gonna be like Escape from New York, quite literally.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of too big for Batman to start doing things. Really, yeah. I don't know, and like he's gonna be gallivanting. It feels a little weird for him to be like gallivanting around. Like I'm gonna punch a few bad guys here and there. Batman, pick up some of these cinder blocks or something, man, buddy. Like use some of the technology to help us out here. Yeah. You know. But they kind of allude to him wanting to help with the relief efforts by the end, with him like helping some of the people and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
And then it's sort of weird. It's like after all that, it's sort of like has a good police and like it worries about looting and stuff.
Yeah,
which I felt sort of weird about after it had such a strong beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's I guess what you're alluding to is like corruption from people on high. Results in like poor support for people below.
Yeah.
And like if you're saying people are looting, are you implying like people need resources from emergency efforts and stuff like that? Like you're saying, I don't know if he was saying looting, but like I think he meant like criminal elements.
They specifically used the word looting.
Oh, did he? I know.
Yes, which is it. I think the news or someone, or the mayor or someone did.
That's very bad when they were talking about Hurricane Katrina, for instance.
Yes, the quote, which I won't say.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's very problematic, but like, yeah, I feel like they were trying to allude more to. I feel like if they leaned more into like just saying there's going to be a criminal element, and then like they were alluding to more to Penguin, that would have made it more safer.
I feel like they were sort of setting that up with the whole Falcone reveal at the end, like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a criminal element or something is like one thing, but like, yeah. I feel like there's like a lot of social justice stuff in this movie, but like I feel like there's maybe they don't really balance out like social services being an issue or whatever. Yeah. But like maybe that's what I think what they're trying to say is like this happened after like the city has lost its like development of institutions that like support social systems and stuff like that. for
that's some good
for
steps.
for like 20 years and stuff, and that's why it's led to this point.
With the subway thing, what was in the beginning that he had to beat up those guys who were beating up the Asian guy? I'm trying to remember.
What was that setting up? I don't really remember.
Did that have to do with anything?
I don't really remember what that had to do with. I think it was like
he like shocked like the people who were beating him up or something. It was like really weird.
Was it like him leading up to Catwoman or something? Was it him leading up to?
We'll cover that another time, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we'll talk about the final spoilers of the end of the movie, I guess.
Yeah.
They set up another villain.
Yeah.
For another movie.
Yeah.
And he happens to be played by Barry Keoghan.
Who I didn't... I read the name, and I didn't know who that was.
You have no idea who it
is. It was on YouTube.
Still don't know who he is. That was like...
They don't show his face either.
But like...
It doesn't help things.
But like, they're clearly alluding to the character. Even in the credits, they say unrevealed prisoner in Arkham.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But obviously, like, with the dialogue, they're alluding it to being the Joker.
Yeah.
And... like,
maybe he's the trickster played by Mark Hamill in the Flash.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's obviously it's Batman. It's obviously gonna be Joker.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like,
I don't know. Before the movie came out, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be like imagine that it would be the most boring reveal at the end of the Batman if they tried to do an MCU and like, wow, the Joker shows up. Like we already did that in the Batman Begins. And like MCU did all this stuff, like it's not really that surprising anymore. Well, they revealed the Joker. They have the
it's not surprising. It's not surprising. They always,
the Joker has to show up now at this point.
Every Batman series has had the Joker show up.
Yeah.
Everything that's even just had Harley Quinn in it has had the Joker show up.
Yeah.
Joker's in everything. It's always got to be the Joker. And then also they're teaming up somehow. And then also, like, why are they in cells? I just thought this was funny. Whose idea was it to put them in cells right next to each other so they could just chat with each other?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
That was really stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's movie logic or whatever. But it was just really funny. I was like, whose idea was this?
There's a lot of moments like that which were really dumb, but help convenience the plot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's all the Riddler riddles and stuff like, oh, it's a rat with wings. Like, what could it be? Well, you know, I guess it could be like a stool pigeon or something.
We're just going for the entire species catalog. We need to get Jane Goodall here. She'll help us out with this film.
It's a bat. What are you thinking? You're Batman. What else is it going to be? Rat with wings. Batman. Jesus. Anyway, Barry Keoghan plays unnamed Arkham prisoner. He's the guy who played Druig in Eternals. Who, like, was
two great movies, by the way. Yeah,
Eternals was a great movie.
The Batman's a great movie.
Wow, are you putting? It sounds like
it's a thumbs up. Yeah,
it sounds like Batman's definitely a thumbs up. Sounds like you're putting Batman up there with Eternals even.
Probably not.
Yeah. But like, it's definitely a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eternals is another kind of like scale and scope.
They're very different. Yeah, one's a sci-fi epic. One's like a murder, socio-economic, political thing.
Yeah, I guess a sci-fi epic's like more grand in scope and mind expanding.
Yeah.
But like detective socioeconomic thing is maybe more realistic and more things we deal with in our daily life. But anyway, Barry Keoghan plays Druig, who's like one of the darker characters in the movie, and he's also an Eternal. He's one of the good guys, ostensibly.
He was sort of a dark character in Eternals, also.
Yeah, I think that was one of the reasons why they made his casting choice like that. Yeah.
Wait. So in Eternals, they'll be like, Druig, you're the Joker. Because that guy who looks like Superman is Superman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Druig is an intense character.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. We don't have to give away his character in Eternals, but he's an intense character in Eternals. You can see our Eternals review for that.
Yeah.
And that'll just save us a lot of breath here.
Yeah.
But also, we didn't even reveal who Riddler was. Also, let's talk about that a little bit. So most of the time he's in this mask, but when you reveal him, it turns out he's your favorite guy from There Will Be Blood.
I made it. There Will Be Blood reference. I forgot what it was when we were watching it too, and you never picked up on it, even though I knew who it was. Played by Paul Dano.
It took me a while after we watched it that it was like, oh, this is the There Will Be Blood guy. So it's Paul Dano.
They sort of like, I don't know if it was the light or something, but he was like, he looked very pale and stuff, so you sort of couldn't tell it was him. Yeah.
Mm.
And he had the glasses, maybe also. Maybe.
It looked like him.
Maybe he was losing hair. I don't know. It was like. It's been like 15 years since like There Will Be Blood. Actually,
that's a long time. Yeah. I mean, I was telling you after we were watching the movie. I think he needed a break after doing that movie.
I was like, he's not in many films. I haven't seen him in a while. I'm surprised.
He sure knows how to pick them though. He plays like these really intense roles and stuff.
Don't bully me, Batman.
The thing is, like he's. I guess now he's gonna be like in typecast in roles where he's like. Kind of got this innocent face.
I mean,
but he's got this dark internal world and stuff.
Oh, yeah, he's in Prisoners also. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So he's got this innocent look to him, this like baby face and stuff. But he's like this intense. Like he looks like an accountant.
Yeah. He was an accountant in this film.
And, like he's a
forensic accountant. Yeah.
Yeah, and in this movie he plays like. They reveal the backstory of Riddler to be like he's a forensic accountant. He's like a really boring guy with a boring job.
Yeah.
But then he like, goes down this dark path after piecing things together.
Like and that ending with like he had a backup plan that was really, really good, even though he got captured already. Right. It was sort of like the end of The Dark Knight also with like Two-Face and the Joker.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm. You didn't think I'd put all my whatever in the thing, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of being vague. Yeah, I'm so tired.
Yeah, I'm tired. But, yeah. And also, like, they draw this parallel between Riddler's... I mean, like, they made Riddler in this movie, like, so rich and deep and stuff. Like, they draw this whole parallel between his background and Bruce Wayne's background, they basically are like shadows of each other.
Yeah.
Like Bruce Wayne is rich but an orphan, and then Paul Dano's character, the Riddler, is an orphan but like had nothing, and then like
he was sort of like little orphan Annie, and like had to sleep in like a place where there was like a million kids at the same time.
Yeah.
And sort of like an Oliver Twist thing where like kids were starving to death, like in the orphanage and stuff.
Right, and like he resented the Thomas Wayne family for like not donating to social services and stuff like that.
I guess Bruce Wayne's a real asshole, right? Like Batman's not a good guy in this.
That's
what happened. He just starved people to death in that orphanage.
Yeah, that's why I felt like it was kind of. I honestly felt like I was taking his side a little bit, and I think that's kind of what Batman characters lend themselves to, is having this depth to them, where like. Yeah, you kind of sometimes feel sympathy for them or whatever. He reminded me of Clock King from like the Batman animated series, where like he went through something and then like he's like, I gotta like.
He was an accountant. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
I guess like I guess they sort of addressed that like in the end where he's trying to reconstruct Gotham, but like part of that he didn't do anything to like stop that stuff from happening.
Yeah. I guess also the fact that he's an accountant kind of explains how he's able to afford all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, he has a CPA in the richest Wall Street city or whatever.
A corporate accountant.
Yeah.
I'm in corporate accounting.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he buys his time or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it's a dark movie.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, they mix it up with a lot of action. And ultimately, I feel like there's good guys in this movie, even though it can be really hard to see that. But I felt like it kept me guessing, like, who is a good guy? And then, like, towards the end, I was like, you know what, there actually is people who try to be good, even in spite of things and stuff.
I hope that's the case, yeah.
So I was glad to see the movie try to show that side of things.
I mean, I feel like it wasn't necessarily those good or bad guys, but at least Batman tried to save more lives at the end. Where, like, because, like, the Riddler became this horrible person.
Right.
With that horrible plan at the end where...
Right. You feel
so many people died already and then he was trying to kill more.
Right. You feel sympathy for him, but, like, you're like, no, you can't do this, though. You've gone too far.
Well, I feel like Batman should try and save everybody, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know Yeah.
I also feel like Thomas Wayne is interestingly portrayed because, like,
There's a lot of interesting stuff with Thomas Wayne now. Yeah.
I feel like you can unpack that whole character with a whole like 2 hour long video essay and stuff or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
and like even though
Well, there's a whole mystery behind like what happened.
yeah,
And, like
I feel
how
like
he died and like
yeah,
whether he was a good person or not a good person. Like they don't make that clear, which is sort of better. But,
yeah.
Batman Begins is like he was the best person in the world, and like in this one he's like we don't know if he was a good person or not.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of open it up to be like, okay, he was still trying to do good things and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, like, maybe, like, some things got mixed up or whatever, but they aren't clear exactly how it played out.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, maybe that is what you were alluding to, is, like, these are things that could be explored in sequels or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's stuff I want to talk about. So, there's, like, they're going to use they're going to introduce more and more villains in the sequels.
Right, they did a lot of, so much world building in this movie that, like, you're like, okay, like, where are these characters going? I want to learn more about each individual character. You can kind of span them out in, like, the whole series, like a TV series even, if you wanted to.
They can do prequels, they can do the reconstruction of Gotham.
Yeah, you can also, like, look into the background of Catwoman, you can look into the background of the Penguin. You can look into what the Penguin's gonna do next.
Yeah.
You can look into
You think Catwoman will be back in the sequel?
She said she's going upstate, so she's not far.
She's gonna see the X-Men.
It's going to what exactly is Bloodhaven again?
It's Teen Titans.
Are they setting up Teen Titans or something? Is Bloodhaven Slade or whatever? Or
it's like it's the main city where the Teen Titans reside. I don't know what it's supposed to be in real life.
Okay.
Maybe it's supposed to... I guess it's a direct reference to X-Men, which is part of the Teen Titans, because the Teen Titans are all, like, people who don't look like humans.
And they're all...
Which is actually referenced with Cyborg and the Hanna-Barbera film, the cartoon also, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The third season, the dark season, yeah.
So they just open up a whole can of worms with, like... Yeah. Oh, let's just throw in the word Bloodhaven and, like...
There you go, yeah.
And, like, okay, I guess we could just do a whole movie with the Teen Titans now and have them cross over at some point.
Yeah.
And that, who knows if that's going to be, like, Dick Grayson, Robin, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and Thomas Grayson was a horrible person.
My name was Martha, too.
My name was Martha, too, you mean?
I mean, my mother's name. My mother's name was Martha. My mother's name was Martha Marcy May Marthy.
Yeah, there you go. Just the Scarlet Witch.
Right, that was Elizabeth Olsen, right?
Yeah.
You were like an Elizabeth Olsen stan before she even joined.
Yeah.
Like the MCU, you were like talking about Elizabeth Olsen. I hadn't seen a single movie with her,
yeah.
And then like I saw her in an MCU. I'm like, oh, she's a pretty good actress. You're like, I've been following her. Like, of course she's a great actress. They were underutilizing her.
I heard either like WandaVision or Multiverse. She had a lot of input into those films.
WandaVision was very good.
Yeah,
WandaVision was very good.
Definitely, I agree with that. Yeah,
I don't know if you got to see the whole thing.
It looked pretty good from the episode I watched. Yeah,
the whole arc of it is great. Watch the whole thing; it's worth it.
Yeah.
And I think it'll probably tie into Multiverse for sure.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
because that's Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, and it's Scarlet Witch in her Scarlet Witch form.
Yeah,
and Scarlet Witch form gets to appear in Avengers Campus, as we've seen in that video that we've been sharing.
I feel like it would have been so much more safer if they had just used the old Scarlet Witch outfit, or like maybe like WandaVision outfit or something, where it would be like in current day stuff that's currently out already.
They just like brought in a whole. That's
like they would not have this problem at all at Universal because they don't own any of the films.
That's the problem with Disney.
And like having like 20 Marvel films a year.
That's the problem with having Marvel character actors in the Disney parks is like the movies are always changing, the lore is changing, the backstory is changing, the future lore is changing.
Yeah.
Like the character actors have to like avoid saying too much.
They can't have Steve Rogers anymore, like in Hong Kong or wherever the new Avengers campus is. Paris, I think. Yeah.
Oh, is that true?
I think they only have Falcon, Captain America there.
Oh, why is that? Just because they don't.
They made that decision. I don't know the backstory behind that is.
It might just be a marketing thing because.
We'll have like. Well, I guess like Universal Florida has their Steve Rogers, so
Yeah.
maybe they want to differentiate it or something.
They might want to move forward. Like it might be like how it might be a corporate decision or whatever.
Yeah.
It might be like, or it could be
It
something.
could be a tie-in with the movies, yeah.
It could be like how like in I guess we're just talking about Disney now, but
It's
like
fine, yeah.
it could be like how in when they did Phantasmic in Disney
Yeah.
Hollywood Studios, like they didn't want to do Peter Pan again. They wanted to do a new Disney movie.
Which I think,
So I don't know.
which is interesting, because like Peter Pan's like in 2008 at least it was like the biggest thing ever. So I wonder if they want to bring it back. I don't know if it's because of Lemonade or whatever, but why don't they do like Star Wars or like Marvel's Phantasmic? Like
I mean-
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, that I feel like there definitely be more like Star Wars fans that would love to see that.
There might be Disney fans that might be a little bit upset though.
Yeah, Disney's too many different
Luke
things at
via
once.
Jedi.
There's too many.
Which is all,
which is
since
Star
this is all,
Citizens. Also, the
they also
Mark
they're
Hamill,
the Planet of the Apes musical also now.
also Mark Hamill appeared and C-3PO and R2-D2 appeared
the Muppet
on
Show,
the
right?
Muppet Show. Also, yeah,
and Simpsons, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, just when you have a series going on long enough and you can get guest stars on, you just start getting every single guest star in the universe.
1977, yeah.
Or in a galaxy far, far away,
Yeah.
or whatever. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of people in this movie. There's a lot of settings. There's a lot of stories. There's a lot of contemporary things to tie into. I feel like it does it pretty cohesively. Like there's so many different all these elements we were talking about. Maybe the thing-
Sometimes it will not make sense when they did it, or it'd be blatantly that they were doing it to like appease the comic fans, with like
Yeah.
to set up a sequel, which is sort of annoying.
Yeah,
But I don't know, it's a blockbuster.
yeah. To give the
I don't think it was like the Joker, where like we're not trying to sell. They were trying to make money on this one, yeah.
Yeah, like there's definitely like, yeah, the criticisms are valid there, where it's like some things were just there to like be marketing decisions or
Yeah.
to make it clear.
Or
to
the
fans
producer probably interfered or whatever, yeah.
yeah, or
Or the director's like,
yeah,
I didn't make some more money by selling that there's gonna be a sequel to this.
yeah. Also, there's drugs references. In
Oh yeah, the
So-
drops.
we didn't
the
talk
drops,
about that at all.
The drops.
They're just called drops. They don't explain that, but like there's literally.
I don't even know how they use the drugs. Like, do they show how they use them?
Or
Maybe that's why they had the train thing in the beginning, right? Oh, it was in the eyes.
I think it was eye drops. I think it was.
I don't remember if it was that or another movie or something.
They kept going back to that damn club like a million times. Like I don't remember like when they did what anymore.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we gotta go here again. We missed something. Well, we gotta go here again. We missed something again.
They did miss something. They missed something very important, I think.
What they're
And
like,
then after they missed something, he was still there.
they're like, hey,
He
I
was
need
something
to,
else.
hey, I need to talk to him. Oh, he's busy right now.
You've been here 5 times already.
What else do you need? And like, oh, hey, how's it going?
Batman might as well just run the club at this point.
Glad to have you back.
Go back in, sir.
Oh, we know you're here. All right, just get back in there. You got the fast pass now. But yeah, there's drunk.
They're using the iPhone to like reserve their spot 6 a.m. in the morning.
Just on like
The virtual queue.
you're on what's it called? Open table. Like get a New York City restaurant. Like yeah, open table. I don't know if you ever.
I don't know.
6 p.m. open table reservation for 2.
Okay.
Me and Catwoman. Any special requests? Like, by the window, please.
Right.
Falcone sent me.
Yeah.
Falcone. They kept saying Falcone in this, yeah. But yeah, it did feel a little bit like the mystery element was a little meandering, cause like okay,
I don't think it was that important for the most part. Like it was
Yeah.
done well, but like I was more
I-
interested in like the whole system being corrupt thing was interesting to me.
yeah, I felt like, and like sometimes maybe it doesn't have to be like a whole thing where there's a through line that totally makes
Yeah.
like the things necessarily lead into each other. Like sometimes maybe in a mystery, like sometimes you just mess up and then you just find you stumble into the next thing, and that's That's okay too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be this super consistent thing where it's like, oh, this clue directly leads us to the next clue, and like, so yeah, maybe it's fine. It's a little messy, but maybe that's fine. I don't know. I was very entertained by the movie,
Yeah.
and I feel like it
It
definitely
was good, yeah.
And I feel like there's
It's a
not
thumbs
a,
up.
and yeah, definitely a thumbs up for me too. And I don't think there's a lot of movies that try to tackle like a lot of these kind of contemporary
true,
social
yeah.
justice issues in
There's
like
a-
a big mainstream blockbuster way. Like, I feel like Succession would be on HBO, but nobody would watch it or whatever.
Yeah.
And like people would try to talk about it, but like not a lot of people would watch it. And then they would try to like jazz it up to make it more interesting. Like, I heard they had like celebrity chefs appear on it.
There's
to, like,
Simpsons tie into it, yeah.
oh really? Yeah, and they tried to have celebrity chefs appear on Succession to be like, oh look, they know like rich people and stuff, but also wink wink, it's actually a promo for the show also.
I
And
mean,
stuff.
that would make sense. Oh,
So
yeah, I
they-
forgot about
so-
that.
So they're doing the neoliberal thing in order to promote the show in a neoliberal way to criticize neoliberalism.
I think the
So
only...
that's pretty cool. I feel
I feel like the only product
weird.
placement in this film, and it's not even real product placement, was for Gotham Square Garden. Because, like, the cars aren't branded cars.
Oh, interesting. Right. Yeah, you don't have like
There's no recognizable brands. There's no like Best Western on Mars and Total Recall or stuff like that.
yeah, they don't have like Penguin driving a Jeep Wrangler. Move! This stupid thing gets great. This gets great gas to the gallon, but like I gotta get out of here. It's got 4-wheel drive, amazing 4-wheel drive.
It's got 20 pistons in it. It's got like 20 horsepower.
Yeah, so
It's a 6-cylinder engine.
yeah, on a scale of Dunkachino to Gotham Square Garden. Gotham Square Garden isn't too bad.
Yeah, Gotham Square Garden's pretty good actually.
Yeah, and like it's pretty well integrated into the story. Yeah.
It's not exactly a Krispy Kreme, yeah.
Yeah, they're not. You mean from Mighty Morphin movie or whatever?
Power Rangers the
Power
movie, yeah.
Rangers movie. Okay. Anyway, I think we've been talking long enough.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm glad you put that in because like we almost didn't talk about the car brand or like the move. I wanted to do the move thing too. Yeah.
yeah. Move.
Get out of here, crazy New Yorker! Where'd you learn how to drive?
Yeah.
Driving the wrong side of the road. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I think that's it, right?
Wow. 52 minutes. Wow.
It was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. This was fun. Yeah.
Okay. Finish it.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right.
This is Mudita Hart signing out.
Pure PhD signing out. Yep.
All right. Catch you later.
Catch you later. A lot of fun. Bye.
Bye bye.